It's been a minute since I've watched It's a Gundam, so I want to go see what his latest video is.
When GTA 6 announced it wouldn't be on a disc, and it still made $1 billion in about 1 hour, as gamers defended Rockstar with their very lives,
It's so cool, like, seeing how much his channel has changed over the years. I really love, like, the new edits he put in here.
knew that it was over for us. When the Black King Cobra wanted to boycott Sony for trying to pass digital-only games, like GTA 6 did, he gave Rockstar the pass, but Sony, you just gotta watch it to believe it.
I don't agree with you, just can't play the game. So, like, what do you do?
Oh yeah,
You
Dante.
don't play the game. You stand up and you don't play the game.
I'm Dante.
Chat, I think what people need to do for the next, like, whatever they push for the next big game that is going to be solely digital in 2028, no one buys it.
GTA 6.
That's not going to be like the first big, like, because it really starts in like 2028.
Look, I'm just saying, GTA 6 is having no discs. So why don't we all just boycott GTA 6 and send a message?
Nah, y'all can do that.
No one wants to do that, right? No one wants to do that.
No, y'all can do that.
It's like when you see a puppy who has cancer. It's just the saddest shit, you know?
Yeah, I don't play GTA. I don't play any of the GTA series, so like, doesn't really affect me. I still like the memes though.
You too.
We weren't cooked as a society, we were burnt to a crisp. On July 1st, after the clear success of Grand Theft Auto 6 discless sales, which was a litmus test for things to come, Sony sprang into action on the pipe dream originally set in motion by Microsoft's Xbox
Fluffy,
One
why you
and
peeing
announced
on
the
the
end
stage?
of game discs in 2028.
A major announcement from PlayStation. Gamers, listen up. The gaming company says it will stop physical disc production for new games releasing on consoles starting January 2028. After that, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. That is a key.
Every morning when I wake up, I say everything's gonna be okay, but I'm lying.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much longer I can do it.
That's how you know you're losing it.
He's sexy without knowing he's sexy, and that's really sexy.
PlayStation physical disc productions end in January of 2028 for the new games releasing on the PlayStation consoles. This is in response to a shifting trend in consumer preferences of new games to be released on the PlayStation Store.
If you're gonna boycott, you know, go on Steam.
We're gonna lie to your face, I hope you like it.
This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt consumer trends as a general preference for digital media significantly outpacing physical discs. This transaction will enable us to align more closely with how most of our community prefers to access and play their games today. We'll continue to prioritize our resources to drive innovation in how players can access games and provide choice as to where players' preference to purchase new games, whether that's at retailers or the PlayStation Store. We remain
Committed to taking your money and treating you like shit. You
Yeah.
see, they want to drive innovation by controlling the game prices for the foreseeable future, and to finally kill off the secondhand market.
I still remember the day when I saw a SpongeBob game when I was at the electronics section at Walmart, and it was the first time I've seen a video game that was $50. That was already mind-boggling to me back then. And then when things just kept getting worse after that, like when games started getting to like $70 to $80, I was like, oh no. No, I can't get into the whole console thing. $50 back then was already too much money, and I just took my hands off that.
Which has been the pipe dream of the gaming industry for years now. Let's face it.
Oh, is the $5 bin still at a GameStop? I hope they didn't remove the $5 bin. If they did, then it's game over.
Sony doesn't honor jack shit digitally. Just a few days ago, Sony deleted people's movies from their libraries just because. Why on God's green earth would I want to own their games?
Sony's deleting over 500 purchased movies from PlayStation Store accounts, and its ultimate warning to buy 4K Blu-rays instead. Okay, so they're trying to force people to get into the whole Blu-ray system. I hate it when a company tries to force me to do something. Like, what is wrong with you? Play has no limits, as it stops people playing TV shows and movies they paid to own. That's just so disgusting.
Digitally, if they can just delete them
I'm glad
or
I have a
ban me
PlayStation
because I
account.
called someone a fairy. Not to mention, they also implemented something where if the PlayStation can't get online for what, a month
So
or
it was a
something,
30-day
or they
online.
void all the keys you already own.
You bastard! Somebody kicks your ass!
Once again, nothing here looks good. It's all F you pay me. There's all ups for Sony and nothing but downs for you.
Yeah, it's F you, pay me, and F you again after we take your money and the thing that you paid for.
By the way, Maximilian dude blamed Trump for this. It gave me a pretty good laugh.
Games will be released on PlayStation Store and at retailers and digital formats only. I have choice things to say of how we got here, but I'm gonna save it. Us being in this precarious position didn't just happen because things happen. This happened because people voted for very specific people.
And now a word from our sponsor.
If you or your child spent years growing up on social media and experienced serious mental health struggles, you should hear this. Recently, a jury ordered Meta and YouTube to pay millions for their role in designing and promoting addictive platforms. They knew their
like
app could contribute to anxiety,
Sony.
depression, and body issue images, but did not share those risks while prioritizing profits. The recent historic verdict underscores the consequences of those decisions. Now Morgan & Morgan is stepping up to hold these platforms accountable for the harm they cause. Click the link in the bio and take a short quiz. You may be entitled to a potential recovery of over $1,000.
This should be illegal.
Like we're gonna
Sony is
read
deleting
that.
over 500 purchased movies from PlayStation Store accounts, and it's the ultimate warning to buy 4K Blu-rays instead. Play has no limits, Sony says, as it stops people playing TV shows and movies they paid to own.
They have no limits to what they'll do to you, so technically it's in the fine print.
Money, please!
This isn't really new. It's the next logical step for the child-eating literal vampire potbelly goblins as by Alex Jones Max into 2027. Back in June of 2013, Xbox then president of interactive entertainment business at Microsoft, Don Matrick, showed off the DRM Riddle Xbox One that would permanently lock your games to your console and only allow resale through partner companies that they controlled.
It's a great line for games. Yeah, and I think people are going to love it, and then they're going to understand what we're trying to create and how it links games and entertainment, the functionality of the box, some of the advantages that you get of having a box that is designed to use an online state. So that, to me, is a future-proof choice, and I think people could have arguably gone the other way if we didn't do it, and fortunately we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Right. So stick with 360, that's your message if you don't,
Well,
you don't like it?
if you have zero access to the internet, that is an offline device. I mean, seriously, when I read the blogs and thought about who's really the most impacted, there was a person who said, hey, I'm on a nuclear sub.
Right.
And I don't even know what it means to be on a nuclear sub, but I've got to imagine that it's not easy to get an internet connection.
Boy, you are the goddamn devil.
Zynga announced that its CEO, Don Matrick, is departing the company and the board of directors immediately. Matrick joined Zynga in 2013 after stepping down as the president of interactive entertainment business at Microsoft.
Donnie, you would have been the good one!
That's right. As far as 13 years ago, the industry was trying to make this happen, and if Xbox succeeded, Sony would have followed suit. Frankly, Don thought he was aura farming the next-gen console, but instead he was doom maxing, as the kids say. Not to mention the always online requirements and the Kinect being mandatory to use the damn console. This gave Sony the chance to one-up them with the PS4, with the Share Your Games video featuring the beloved Shuhei Yoshida.
This is how you share your games on PS4.
Okay.
Thanks.
PlayStation.
It's over.
Yeah.
We are screwed.
Xbox lost the console war before it started by trying to kill off the used game market, which was huge at the time. That's what this has always been about. Even now, killing your ability to own anything or buy it cheaper. It's absolute and total control that they want over you while demanding your money. But this isn't Sony's first rodeo. This is the second age of arrogant Sony that we have witnessed. After the success of the PlayStation 2, the best-selling console in history, Sony crushed everyone's bones into dust. To put it in racing perspectives, it was like Marc Marquez first joining MotoGP with the Repsol Honda. They won damn near everything for years without any real opposition.
First in line. That's a happy fella.
This made Sony arrogant. They believed the PlayStation brand was untouchable and a license to print money. Sony put a $599 price tag on the disc version with a 60GB hard drive. It wasn't even an SSD, my dude. Executives told the public that people would, and I quote, work
a second job to afford one.
And the console was probably, and I quote,
too cheap.
Which at the time, technically Sony was losing a lot of money with each console sale, but I don't recall forcing them to make such an expensive console. And if you mirror Sony's boss's statements at the time to Strauss Zelnick from Rockstar's comments about people buying GTA 6, and I quote,
"You're paying more for gas and groceries, but you'll buy GTA 6 anyway. People will cut back on certain items, but not GTA 6.
I would.
Look, I'm just saying, GTA 6 is having no discs, so why don't we all just boycott GTA 6 and send a message?
Nah, y'all can do that.
No one wants to do that, right? No one wants to do that.
Y'all can do that.
The last man is the individual who specializes not in creation, but in consumption. In the midst of satiating base pleasures,
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I think I'd rather have food than a video game.
he claims to have discovered happiness by virtue of the fact that he lives in the most technologically advanced and materially luxurious era in human history.
Strauss Zelnick talks about this damn game as if it's a right to life and you need it to breathe. God, we really are in the darkest timeline.
Oh, by the way, keep in mind the $599 PlayStation 3 back in 2007 is the equivalent of $1,000 now. Of course, the gaming media was no different then than it is now. They didn't call out Sony back in the day, and they damn sure won't do it now. But anyway, the PS3 is a notoriously hard console to port games to, making the Xbox 360 the preferred console for gamers and game devs alike. Try to play Fallout 3's DLC on the PlayStation 3 and not have it freeze for 30 minutes straight just to take one step. I defy you.
Oh, and there it is, Bethesda. Your wonderful game freezing once again.
He seems like a nice guy.
Skyrim had a corrupt save file issue with the PlayStation 3 that was so bad that each save you made playing the game damaged your save file further, leading to the DLC coming out on PlayStation 3 6 or more months after Xbox 360 because it was just such a clusterfuck. Obviously, the PlayStation 3 lost the console war and led to the more humble Sony during the PlayStation 4 launch versus the Xbox One. Flash forward to today, and we are back to where we started from, and I think I know why. Around 2019 to 2020, Sony moved its headquarters from Japan to California, which explains a lot about the games that came out recently, and a lot of them having Sweet Baby Inc.'s influence.
Hey, Japan, there are other states you can go to, you know, flourish in your business than California. Like, please stop going to California.
A lot of progressivism and a lot of games kind of sucking ass. Thanks to the short-sightedness of Jin Ryan canning Shuhei Yoshida. But by the way, Shuhei helped develop Gran Turismo, Uncharted, Last of Us, Ghost of Yote, etc. Clearly, his focus was on single-player games and storytelling.
He was for the gamers. Ryan, on the other hand, was ready to turn PlayStation into a live service, the curse of every Western gaming company. Like I said before, literal vampire potbelly goblins.
PlayStation Shuhei Yoshida spills the beans on Jim Ryan firing. Concord flops fuels speculation about past disagreements. However, after 11 years at the helm of first-party development, Yoshida revealed he was ousted due to disagreements with Jim Ryan. He explained that some of Ryan's proposed strategic directions were simply unacceptable to him, leading to his refusal to implement them and ultimately his removal. Yoshida also noted their relationship was delicate, having known each other since the PlayStation 1 era, which made their executive interactions even more challenging.
Sony got rid of the one guy at the top who cared about gaming, who cared about Sony as a brand and remembered what it was at its launch, the dreams of what it was supposed to be. And that's why we're here. Sony's just trying to kill off physical games to pocket just a little bit more money. The PlayStation blog post for the news got more comments in a single day than the entire site has seen in a year. And yet, they did not see the dilemma. This is just sheer hubris of the PlayStation brand. While gamers were rebelling against the changes, games media championed it, as if this was something desperately needed. I guess they don't want to lose their review copies of God of War Laufey or something.
Game journalists, oh no, not the game journalists.
I won't warn PlayStation discs. Physical media shouldn't die, but optical discs always...
I just reacted to a Polygon video. Ooh, yikes. Definitely not anymore.
...sucked for games.
Has it really? I've never had an issue with an optical gaming disc, but I've gone through like 3 or 4 DVD players or Blu-ray players.
Let me be clear, as I'm disheartened as anyone that PlayStation's announcement last week that this will cease production of physical game copies. I am pro-physical media. I don't collect physical games myself anymore, but I do collect movies on Blu-ray. I only read real books. I have many CDs and vinyl LPs, and I buy physical Switch games for my kids. There's so many reasons to support physical media. There's an existential issue for the preservation of art. There's a legal, practical, and financial issue of personal ownership and things that we spend on. There are social, cultural, and personal...
Jesus H. Christ. Hello, fellow gamers. I like to collect things through, but good riddance to optical drives. We don't need games for discs. I work at Polygon. I would really like to get a review sample, please, Sony.
Game discs deserve to die. We cannot protect a dying medium, but we can try to make our digital future more consumer-friendly.
Bullshit! Art! Test!
Nothing is more consumer friendly in this day and age. Every one of your rights are encroached upon on a daily basis, and you people want me to believe that somehow these billion-dollar companies that have no problem firing half their staff at Microsoft are all of a sudden gonna be benevolent to us. You people make me sick.
Games don't have to be that big. Even with file compression and optimization, games on disc ultimately cost...
Yeah, there's no one more out of touch with reality than a game journalist.
More to produce. It's a hard truth to accept, but game sizes are outgrowing the discs on which they can be stored. Okay, then just split the game into multiple Blu-ray discs, right? Depending on the way what...
Never forget it, really, bro.
The industry has led with this pitch for years, and we have yet to see a single copy of a new game that costs less than the physical copy. Fuck all the way off. The argument for physical media on consoles is that it's a necessity. If you really want a game, you can find it. Otherwise, it's lost forever. You know, like Activision's The Punisher or Deadpool, the Spider-Man games from the PlayStation 3 era. You can't get these anymore, and if you do, you have to pay a minimum of $150. And oh yeah, there's no digital version, so those are your only options. And if they had their way, you wouldn't even get those.
Just a reminder, I'm only able to own and personally preserve the quite rare Godzilla PlayStation 4 game because the physical media. It was delisted from the PlayStation stores less than 2 years ago after it was released and hasn't been ported to modern platforms.
Nor will it ever be.
Sony began censoring Reddit posts, or at least the moderators are.
They're lying about digital versus physical sales. 85% includes PlayStation Plus, DLC, indies, etc. Heads up, Sony PlayStation are taking down any posts on Reddit which proves they are lying about physical versus digital sales comparisons and
Not
skewing the numbers.
PlayStation Plus subscribers began canceling the subscriptions in protest, which led to PlayStation offering them 3 months at 50% off.
Of course.
That's too generous.
Gamefly, among other businesses online, openly denounced Sony's decision to get rid of discs in 2028 because Sony ignored the backlash and returned to...
Yeah, I saw Domino's statements in real time, and their sales like went through the roof. So good on Domino's and Gamefly.
social media almost a week after killing physical games like nothing happened.
PlayStation is very much the dominant force in console games. Your big competitor is now one of your partners. Is it still important for you to sort of maintain this big level of support for third-party publishers and developers? Aren't you sort of the only option?
Yes and no.
Nothing's going to change because they don't care. See, Sony's not going to care until they lose money. And that's the only one that's going to happen. And if
That's with
what
any
we're
company.
reading is true, that the next-gen consoles are going to be over $1,000, I can guarantee you only scalpers will buy them, and only the biggest idiots will buy from scalpers. And Sony will continue to eat shit because the console's
They
more
can keep the
expensive, and
$1,000
memory's still going to
console.
probably keep going up till 2029. So those consoles could probably hit as high as $1,500 by the end of its life cycle if we continue on the trend of things becoming more expensive.
Oh, by the way, French politician running for president decided to come after Sony about this.
Les industries du jeu vidéo représentent des budgets supérieurs à ceux du cinéma dans le monde. Et les Français sont très forts dans ce domaine. Pourquoi le jeu vidéo est fascinant? Parce que c'est un art total. C'est un art qui fait une rupture avec les précédentes formes d'art, comme le cinéma ou la photo, avait été avec la peinture et ainsi de suite. Bon, donc c'est quelque chose d'extraordinaire. Vous faites des synthèses, musique, images, programmes.
Et nous sommes très bons, effectivement.
Et oui, et à Angoulême, nous avons une école.
Vous n'allez pas nous dire que vous faites des jeux vidéo, quand même.
Non, mais on m'a offert des trucs. C'est génial. Donc je suis un fan du jeu vidéo comme instrument, si vous voulez, artistique. Et quand vous voyez ce que certains jeux vidéo sont capables d'avoir comme précision, même des gens que j'aime pas, bon, comme Assassin's Creed, ils ont fait un truc sur l'Europe, sur Paris, extraordinaire. On a des grosses boîtes comme Ubisoft qui sont dirigées
Vous êtes
par...
vraiment spécialiste du jeu vidéo.
Bon, alors je vais arrêter.
Ce soir.
Il y a même des...
Then, the weirdest thing is the CEO just quietly sells all of his shares at Sony. Things are looking grim. I mean, the console's selling poorly anyway due to AI and global conflict, and now they come around and tell us there's not going to be any discs for sale. And they don't think there's going to be any major repercussions like getting your dick kicked in. See, frankly, Sony could have been smart about this, making fewer physical copies and let the people buy digital on their own. Sit back, relax, let the market decide. And still, you made your money. Instead, they did this, making themselves the villain for no other reason than maybe a little bit more money, and killing the secondhand market once and for all.
In fact, the money they're getting, according to Jason Schreier, is an extra $21 if they skip retail altogether per sale. But if you're already allegedly selling more games digitally, why do you care? It just doesn't make sense.
Take a physical video game, $70 physical video game, traditional video game. When it's from a first-party publisher, when it's from Sony, Nintendo, or Microsoft, the breakdown looks like this. Cost is $70. Retail store cut, so GameStop, Target, Walmart, whatever, they take about 30% of that, so they take about $21. And then there's a manufacturing fee of about $350. And so the publisher, Xbox, Sony, let's say Sony, since that's what we're talking about, PlayStation takes home $45.50 out of every $70 sale, okay? This is before taxes, other kind of variables, but let's just keep it simple. $45.50. Third-party publisher, that's a different story. We'll get into that in a second. But so that's a physical. So for a physical sale for a disc of the new God of War, Sony is taking home $45.50. Digital sale. You know how much of that Sony takes home? $70. So it is hugely beneficial. They are saving a significant amount. Those margins are significantly higher when they sell digitally. So they very much want you to buy their games digitally. When EA sells a new game, a new Madden game, it costs $70. Again, this is from, according to Serkan Toto's breakdown, and this is very much an estimate, but still, it's helpful. $70. 30% of that goes to the retail store, GameStop, $21. Then there's a licensing fee to the console maker, so to PlayStation, if this is a PlayStation disc, of about 15%, maybe $10.50, something like that. Manufacturing fees, 5%, call it $350. That's one that can really vary, shipping costs, production costs, all that other stuff. People have all sorts of deals in place. And so the publisher winds up taking home $35. But in that equation, remember, Sony, PlayStation, is taking $10.50 as their licensing fee for that. And EA is getting back $35. Now, if it's a digital sale, you take licensing fees and you take manufacturing fees out of the equation, and that retail fee, instead of going to GameStop, it goes to PlayStation. So a digital sale, if EA sells a new Madden to you on the PlayStation Store, it is $70 total. PlayStation takes 21 of those dollars, a 30% cut. Sometimes, again, it can vary a little bit because some of these big publishers have deals in place with Sony and Microsoft to take less cuts. But
basically, Sony's mindset right now doesn't change. In this outcome, they say, whatever, only 15% of our revenue comes from physical game sales or whatever it is. We don't care about that. And those are the people that suck anyways. Those are the people that buy used. Those are the people that trade games. So if we lose 15% of our revenue from then, on the back end, we're going to make more money per game sold anyways, and we don't really care about you. Like that's basically what it is. In fact, that is, again, option number one. Sony continues to be stubborn and doesn't change anything. If they do that, I believe it's because their strategy is a K-shaped economy strategy. I was really thinking about this the other night. Like, their argument is, well, if you can't afford to get probably next gen right $80 games and not have the ability to resell them or trade them with people, then you're not the customer we want. You know, we want Porsche drivers. We don't want Volkswagen or, you know, Mitsubishi drivers. That's what they would be saying. That, and I think actually that is what their initial plan is to kill discs. It's really them saying, we know we could lose 10, 20% of our fans, but those are the fans that we think are too poor to be worth caring about. Honestly, that's what I think
so
their play
disgusting.
is.
Typical soulless corporate greed. There were rumors Sony was walking it back, but I guess that was all engagement bait for Twitter. If I can't buy...
Yes, Sony's always had like a long history of just like skeletons in their closet, and they've always had like some bad stuff like going on with them, and this is like just cementing that.
Actual disc copies of games for the PlayStation 6. Even if it's something like a key that I would have the freedom to one day sell if I wanted, or to lend to a friend, even though none of my friends really game anymore. But still, if you wanted to sell it later on, there's that. Without hard copies of games for consoles, there's no real reason to own a console, at least not for me. It just seems pointless because PC is far superior. I'm just demonstrably disappointed in Sony, but it's on brand.
Yeah.
Sony left Japan to go to California, and it became shit like everything else that does.
Yeah, so the lesson learned from this is, if you're a business, don't go to California. And rip Sony, honestly. Yeah. It's a shit show.